Well, plan to secure long-term funding for the World Trade Center Health Program remains in limbo. The fund helps people dealing with health conditions linked to the 9/11 terror attacks. And even though the money for the program was included in a bipartisan spending plan, it didn't actually end up in the stripped-down version that was passed to avert a government shutdown.
And joining us now to talk more about these funding concerns, Michael Barasch, whose law firm Barasch & McGarry represents thousands of members in the 9/11 community. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. And it's not just firefighters and cops who are impacted by this. It's the 50,000 students and teachers who were going to schools south of Canal Street. It's the 35,000 downtown residents and 300,000 office workers.
What is the total number of people being helped by
it's
this?
about 500,000 people who are entitled to this protection if they have any symptoms of respiratory problems or cancer any time in the rest of their lives.
So what happened? Because it was part of that bill and then it wasn't.
I was in Washington to celebrate the funding for this program that is free health care and monitoring for all these people, and poof, it disappeared because they felt it was too much money. But we're very hopeful that this new administration, that bipartisan support, we're going to get the funding early this year. At least I'm praying we do, because God knows we need it.
Why is it running out of money?
Really, inflation. The cost of cancer is so expensive, and there's been an explosion of cancers among the 9/11 community. They've linked 69 cancers. Nobody expected that. Skin cancer, the most common. Breast cancer for women. Prostate cancer for men are the most common. But every cancer has been linked. There's a presumption. So even if your family member had cancer, if you were working, living, or going to school downtown and you got cancer or get cancer in the future, you're entitled to this free health care. You're entitled to compensation from the victim fund. But you have to take advantage of these programs. And while over 85% of the cops and firefighters are enrolled, less than 10% of the civilians are so far.
So what happens if Congress does not act on this?
We'll be going back to Washington. I've made a couple of dozen trips already, and I'll be going with the firefighter and cop unions, with advocates like Jon Stewart and John Field and Ben Shavat and many, many other people. But it's bipartisan. This toxic dust affected both Republicans and Democrats. This is a really important thing, and it's a humane thing. We've got to do this. We've got to take care of the people who took care of us.
You just said something so shocking over commercial break that you lose 2 clients a day?
Yeah, well, my firm represents over 40,000 people. 2 of my clients die every single day from these cancers and respiratory illnesses. It's heartbreaking. On the other hand, it's so gratifying to be able to take care of the family members who now know they're not going to lose their home. They can send their kids to college, and they can pay those medical bills to take care of their loved ones.
What's the deadline to make sure you get some funding?
There is no deadline.
There's no deadline for this?
No, people continue to get sick every single day.
But for Congress to act?
Oh, well, they're going to end up running out of money in the next year. And they're going to stop taking new patients. They're going to have to take longer waits to get that funding. And as you know, early detection is the key to saving lives. And I'm passionate about this because I'm a member of the 9/11 community. My office was 2 blocks away, and I'm a prostate cancer survivor. So I really want to make sure you don't have to use me. Just take advantage, as Jon Stewart says, access the benefits you're entitled to.
You said 11% of civilians aren't enrolled in this program, and they may be eligible. So how do people enroll?
Well, you go to the World Trade Center Health Program, and you got to prove that you were there. You got to have evidence. Whether Governor Hochul signed a bill called the 9/11 Notice Act. It mandates that your former companies advise you that you're entitled to these benefits. And yet so many people, so many companies aren't doing that. So we're calling these companies and saying, hey, do you know it's a law? You have to let your former employees know. So if you haven't heard, I hope you'll reach out to me, and we'll call those companies and demand that they follow the law.
All right, Michael, we appreciate you being here and giving us this important
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to spread the word.
All right, thanks so much. And Liv is up next with more on the snow and very cold weather that's on the way.
Plus the very latest efforts in California to contain several deadly wildfires.